So if I were to get the most classic version of a Philly cheesesteak, what would be your advice?
Cheesesteak with the cheese and onion. It's the classic. You got to do the classic.
Just like politics, you just got to jump in. You grab it with both hands and jump in.
In Pennsylvania, which very likely could decide not only the presidency but also control of the Senate, you are basically running 4 points behind where Donald Trump is. Trump is tied statistically with Harris.
Yeah.
You're tracking about 4 points behind Casey. Where do you think that comes from? Who is the Trump-Casey voter?
Well, I think you have to start with, I'm the underdog. So I've come into this race against a political family and a guy that's been in office for 34 years. And someone asked me the other day, what about the Casey dynasty? And I said, the nice things about dynasties, they all end at some point. So I think this is the point at which this dynasty ends. But people know Bob Casey's name because it's been in politics for 30 years. People are getting to know me. So the most important thing is not where the polls are at the moment. I think everybody agrees the polls are within margin of error. The important thing is that I've gained enormous ground over the last 60 to 90 days.
Is there places that you as a senator would, as a businessman who became a senator, demand fiscal responsibility from your party?
Well, I would favor on day one a balanced budget amendment. I think that is something that we should, the government, just like our households, our businesses should have to be able to make the numbers work. Right now we're on a fiscal train wreck. We have a $35 trillion debt, $1 trillion of interest payments. It's bigger than our defense budget, which is $900 billion. Has to be a rule of thumb. When your interest payment is bigger than your defense budget, you're in trouble. But let's not lose sight of how this happened. Republicans and Democrats alike have been spending too much for 20 years. So it's been like this on the charts. But under Biden, it's been a hockey stick. $5 trillion of new spending. And much of that spending has been heavily subsidization of electric vehicles, of solar panels, of wind. We need to look at all sorts of discretionary spending. As I said, we need to look at these huge subsidizations. Just to give you an example of how people are talking about Social Security, put Social Security aside. Let's talk about student loan debt repayment, right? So the Biden administration proposed a $160 billion student loan relief. That's bigger than the Army's budget. This is how expansive and reckless and out of control the Biden-Harris policies would be. Kamala Harris made, and by the way, Bob Casey voted for every one of those spending bills. Now, Kamala Harris gives her big economic speech of how she's going to help the economy. She proposes $2 trillion more of spending, and on top of that says that she wants to regulate the implications of inflation, prices that went up because of too much spending, by getting Venezuelan-like price controls. So the economic vision of what Republicans, the common sense policies of Republicans, President Trump, myself, and others, versus the socialist, reckless spending of the Democrats, Kamala Harris and Bob Casey, who will support her the whole way. That's the real contrast. That's the choice. And people just have to look at where we are in the economy. Bidenomics is not working for most people.
What has changed? What have you learned from the past 2 years and 10 months of running for Senate that has changed you and brought you to a point now where you feel that you can win?
Well, there's winning, and then there's doing the job. And so I think the last 2 years have helped me be in a much better position to win, but also be a much better senator. And listen, it's like anything else. You learn more from failing. You learn more from those challenges that come with that than you do from winning. Because when you win something, you attribute it to your own greatness. When you lose, you sort of scrutinize all the different things. And what I learned is that I wanted to run much more of a retail campaign. I want to be everywhere, 67 counties, every town, every part of our great Commonwealth.
Lots of cheesesteaks.
Lots of cheesesteaks. I think I've done something like 450 visits this calendar year, all across our great Commonwealth. I visited 67 counties. I've done more than 100,000 miles in my truck and my bus. And I feel like I know Pennsylvania in a way that you can only know Pennsylvania when you do all those visits and you're talking to people. And I think I know the problems that people experience. I think I know the kind of leadership they want. Many of the problems are the same, like inflation or fentanyl, which is a disaster because of the wide open border of Harris and Casey. And some of them are unique to the specific areas or the industries. So I feel like I'm very much in touch with the kind of leadership we need. And it's not more of the same.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.